He was my daughter's fiancé, someone I wasn't supposed to want. But as his eyes locked with mine, I knew everything was about to change. What followed was something neither of us could control, a storm of forbidden desire that tore us both apart. The guilt was unbearable, but the connection between us? Irresistible. I shouldn't have let it happen. I knew it was wrong. But when his touch lingered longer than it should have, everything inside me screamed for him. I'm Hannah, 46, a mother, a woman in love with the man who was meant for my daughter alone. This is the story of how one kiss changed my life forever in the heart of New York City. I never thought I'd be here, standing at a crowded ballroom, champagne glass trembling in my hand, trying to hold it together. It's been 6 months since Mark walked out, leaving me to pick up the pieces of a 23-year marriage that had once felt like a promise, a forever. Now, I'm just a woman at a party alone, trying to look like I'm okay. The reality, though? It's the farthest thing from okay. Divorce. That word, it's still fresh, still stings. I hate it. I hate the way it sounds, the way it feels. It makes everything feel like it was a failure. And that's not the woman I used to be. I used to be confident, full of life. But now I'm just numb, floating through days, trying to feel something, anything. I came here tonight, hoping to feel something again. It's supposed to be my re-entry into the world, my first big social event since everything fell apart. But as I stand here, I realize how alone I truly am. Couples are dancing, laughing, living, while I'm just observing, watching life happen from the sidelines. The music plays, but it feels distant. Everything feels distant. And then I feel it. A strange, inexplicable pull. I'm not sure what it is at first, but something in the air shifts. I don't even know why I look up. My body just reacts before my mind does. And when I do, I see him. Across the room, through the crowd of tuxedos and cocktail dresses. He's staring at me. Not glancing. Not casually looking. No, he's staring at me. Intensely, like there's nothing else in the room but the space between us. I feel my breath catch in my throat. It's as if the world has quieted down around me. The string quartet, once filling the air with soft melodies, fades into white noise. Conversations melt away into muted whispers. It's just him. His gaze locks with mine, and I can't look away. I don't want to. There's something magnetic about it, about him. A pull I can't explain, can't ignore. I force myself to break eye contact, to pull myself back to reality. But it's too late. The damage is done. His gaze has found me, and my heart's already in motion. I shouldn't feel this way, I tell myself. I shouldn't. But the truth is I do. He's tall. Dark hair, just a bit messy, like he doesn't care, like he doesn't have to. A jawline sharp enough to cut glass. But it's not his looks that freeze me in place. It's the way he looks at me. And suddenly I wonder, what's he looking for? Is it me? Or is it just coincidence? My mind races with 1,000 questions I don't have answers for. And yet, I can't stop myself from waiting for him to cross the room, for him to reach me. What is happening? Why am I so drawn to him? I shouldn't feel this way. But it's already too late. If you're feeling that tinge of excitement, that inexplicable pull between them, hit that like button. Trust me, it gets even more intense from here. I don't know what I was expecting when I turned back toward him. Maybe I thought he'd look away, maybe that the moment would pass. But no, he's still staring at me, still holding my gaze like it's the only thing that matters in this room. Then the world shifts. I hear my daughter's voice, cutting through the tension like a blade. Mom, I freeze. I can't move. I feel like I've been caught doing something wrong, even though I haven't done anything at all, except feel. I turn, and there she is, Lily, my beautiful, kind, trusting daughter, walking toward me with him. Ethan. My heart stops in my chest. My mind goes blank. Ethan. Of course. It makes sense, doesn't it? I've seen him before. He's always been around, popping in and out of Lily's life. But something about seeing him here like this with her, it's different. The air is thick, heavy with everything unspoken. Lily is radiant, glowing with that happiness that only comes when you're in love, completely consumed by it. She slides her hand possessively around his arm, and I can't help but notice how natural it looks, how right it feels, how wrong this is for me. The world spins a little faster now, and my breath catches in my throat. "This is Ethan," Lily says, practically vibrating with excitement. "My fiancé. Fiancé. Fiancé." The word crashes into me, and I feel like the floor might fall out from under me. This man, the one I've been drawn to, the one who's been pulling at something inside me, he's my daughter's fiancé. My daughter's fiancé. I shake his hand, my fingers trembling in his grip. I force a smile that feels like it's carved into my face. It's all I can manage. "It's wonderful to meet you, Mrs. Morrison," he says, and his voice, deep, warm, and rich, has me questioning everything I thought I knew about myself. I try to respond, but it comes out wrong, like I'm speaking through water. "Please call me Hannah." I say it, but it feels like a lie. His touch lingers just a moment longer than necessary, and I feel it shoot through me like an electric current, waking something inside me that I can't deny anymore. I pull my hand away too quickly, but it's too late. The damage has been done. Lily is talking about wedding plans now, venues, colors, flowers, and all I can think about is the way Ethan is still looking at me, still watching me. It's almost too much. I want to run, but my feet won't move. I stand there, trapped in a conversation I'm not really part of, while my mind races with 1,000 thoughts, none of them good. He's my daughter's fiancé. I should be happy for her. I am happy for her. But the pull, the way Ethan's eyes won't leave me, it's impossible to ignore. It's wrong, so wrong, and yet it feels too real to dismiss. Should I feel this way? Should I feel this pull at all? The more I try to push it away, the stronger it becomes. I excuse myself, almost stumbling as I leave the group. I say something about needing the restroom, something weak, something that doesn't even feel like a real excuse. But it doesn't matter. I just need to get away. In the bathroom, I stand in front of the mirror, staring at my reflection. My makeup is perfect. My dress fits like it was made for me. But my eyes, God, my eyes look like I'm losing something, like I've just realized something I can never unknow. What is wrong with you? I whisper to my reflection. He's going to be your son-in-law, your daughter's husband. Get it together. But I can't. I can't let it go. The pull, the connection, it's too real. When I finally return to the ballroom, my daughter and Ethan are dancing, lost in each other. They're perfect together, young in love, right? And I'm just the woman watching, the woman who's already had her chance at love and lost it. And yet, all I can think about is the way Ethan looked at me, the way he saw me. It should have been innocent. It wasn't. I try to leave this moment, leave these feelings behind. But they won't go. Because they can't. Not when the man I'm falling for is the one I can't have. I glance at my phone, and I feel a chill in my bones. What would you do if you were in Hannah's shoes? Do you think she should act on her feelings or let them go? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's talk about this complex situation. I wasn't sure what I was expecting when I agreed to help Lily plan her wedding. It wasn't the way I thought it would feel. I assumed it would be the kind of mother-daughter bonding experience that felt like a rite of passage, something I could be proud of. But instead, it felt like I was walking on a tightrope, one foot on each side of a line I wasn't sure I should be crossing. Every meeting, every conversation, it only seemed to get harder. Ethan, of course, was there. Always there. At first, it was just about the logistics, the catering, the venue, the music. Little things that should have kept me busy enough to forget the storm brewing under the surface. But it didn't. It couldn't. Because every time we talked, I could feel something shifting between us. Something subtle. Something dangerous. The first time he asked me to grab coffee, I thought it was innocent enough. Just two people working together on a shared task. Nothing more. But that's not how it felt when I saw him waiting at the coffee shop. There was something in his eyes, something expectant, that made me forget everything I should have known. I sat down across from him, my heart already racing. "Thank you for doing this," he said, his voice low, almost like it was meant for me alone. "Lily's lucky to have a mom like you." His words hung in the air, heavier than I expected. He wasn't just talking about wedding plans anymore. No, his eyes were saying something else, something I wasn't ready to admit. Was he saying he saw me? Not as Lily's mom. Not as the woman who had failed her daughter's marriage. No, he was seeing me. Really seeing me. I brushed it off. I had to. But then there was the moment when his hand brushed mine. Just a simple touch as we reached for the same napkin. I didn't pull away right away. I couldn't. It was only a second. Only a brush of skin. But it felt like everything was suddenly too close. Too intimate. Too real. My breath caught in my chest. I shouldn't be feeling this way. But I was. We talked for hours over coffee that day, about everything and nothing. The wedding, sure. But also things we never should have shared. He told me about his childhood, about growing up with foster parents, about his deep love for the garden he'd worked on for years. He made me laugh. He made me forget, if only for a moment, the mess I'd found myself in. But then, something inside me broke a little. I didn't want to admit it, but I was starting to care. It wasn't just about his charm, though I could feel that too. It was about something deeper, something that reached into me and started pulling me apart. Slowly, we met again the next day, and the day after that, and the days after that. Each time, I found myself growing more attached to him. The way he spoke, the way his eyes seemed to study me like he was trying to understand who I was. Like I mattered. I had no right to care, no right to want this. But I couldn't stop myself. I tried to keep it professional, tried to focus on Lily's happiness, on her wedding. But how could I ignore this? This connection between us? I tried to pull away. I told myself it was just a harmless flirtation. Nothing serious. Just two people getting caught in a moment. But every time I looked at Ethan, I knew it was more than that. And I wasn't sure how much longer I could pretend it wasn't. I was becoming addicted to these moments. These private conversations where he saw me not as Lily's mom, but as Hannah. And when I felt his hand rest on my arm that first time, the weight of it lingered with me long after he pulled away. My skin still tingled. My heart raced. Was this really happening? He made me feel alive, in ways I hadn't in so long, in ways I shouldn't have. I wanted to push it away. I had to push it away. But every time I told myself it was wrong, every time I tried to ignore it, the pull between us only grew stronger. How much longer could I deny it? If you're feeling the emotional pull between them, you're not alone. Share this video with someone who gets the complexity of love and loyalty. Because trust me, things are only going to get more complicated from here. It happened so quietly, I almost didn't hear it. But when Ethan spoke those words, his confession, they felt like a thunderclap in the middle of a storm, shaking everything I thought I knew about myself. I'd been standing in the garden, watching him work, my mind already clouded with 1,000 thoughts I couldn't shake. Every time he smiled, every time he brushed up against me, I felt that growing, unrelenting pull, and I was getting weaker, slowly drowning in it. But nothing prepared me for the way he said it. He looked at me, his eyes steady, like he had no intention of turning away. "Hannah." I felt my breath catch. My heart skipped a beat, and for the first time in weeks, I was fully present in that moment, fully aware of him, of us. "I need to say something," he continued, voice low, almost like he was afraid of the words coming out of his own mouth. I swallowed, trying to steady myself, but my throat had gone dry. "What's wrong?" I managed, even though I could feel it, the weight of it, pressing in on us both. "I'm falling for you." The words hit me like a physical blow, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't move. He took a step closer, his gaze never leaving mine. "I know this is all wrong. I know what this means for us. For you, for Lily, for everything. But I can't keep pretending it's not happening. There's something between us, something I can't ignore. It's real. It's deeper than just mutual attraction. It's. His voice falters, but I don't need him to finish. I already understand. The pull, the tension, it's been there between us from the moment we met, from the first coffee we shared. It's more than chemistry. It's something I don't want to admit, something I'm not ready to face. But it's here now, and there's no escaping it. I feel my chest tighten, the weight of his words settling like bricks in my stomach. The room spins. I don't know how long we stand there in silence. His confession hangs in the air, thick with everything unsaid. Ethan. I whisper, but the words won't come. I don't know what to say. I can't, but I want to. His hand reaches for mine, and for a split second, I'm paralyzed. I want to pull away. I want to tell him that this is wrong, that we can't do this, that I can't betray my daughter in this way. But my fingers twitch, and before I can stop myself, I'm letting him take my hand. The moment our skin touches, it's like a spark, like something in me awakens, something I thought I'd buried deep inside. I look at him, searching his face for something. Anything that would make this make sense, something to take away the guilt building inside me. But I don't find it. All I find is the same thing I've seen from the beginning, desire. I pull my hand away, but not quickly enough. Not soon enough. I'm sorry, he says, his voice barely audible, but the way he looks at me, it's not an apology. It's a plea. And now I'm caught. I'm stuck between two worlds, between the woman I've been and the woman I could become. What do I do now? Lily. I can't think about her. I can't think about what this would do to her. I feel the weight of it all pressing down on me. The guilt, the shame, the desire. It's a cocktail that I don't know how to swallow. I step back, my hands trembling at my sides. We can't do this, Ethan. I finally manage, my voice shaking. You're my daughter's fiancé. You're about to marry her. I can't. I stop because the words feel hollow. The truth is, I want him. I do want this in a way that I can't explain, can't justify. But the consequences, they're too great. I take another step back, trying to create distance, to stop myself from falling deeper into this. I know, he says quietly, his eyes dark with regret, but also something else, something I can't name. But it's not enough. None of this is enough. I feel lost in the space between what I want and what I should want. It's tearing me apart. The silence between us stretches, thick and heavy, until finally I speak again. I have to go, I say, turning away, but my voice cracks. I can't look at him anymore. Not like this. Not when I know how badly I want to stay. But I can't. Not when I have so much to lose. What would you do if you were Hannah? I ask, even though I already know the answer. Would you follow your heart or stay loyal to your daughter? Leave your advice in the comment section below. I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Because right now, I feel like I'm standing at a crossroads, and I don't know which path to take. It was a moment I knew was coming, yet when it happened, I wasn't ready. We had avoided it for so long, sidestepping the truth, dancing around the space between us. But standing there, with him so close, there was no more room for pretending. The air between us had already been charged, and the tension, God, the tension, had been building for weeks. And now it was impossible to ignore any longer. His hand found mine again. It wasn't an accident this time. It wasn't a casual touch. It was deliberate. A silent request for permission. Permission to cross the line we both knew we shouldn't. My heart was pounding in my chest, each beat like a warning I couldn't hear. Ethan, I whispered, my voice trembling, the words caught in my throat. Hannah, he breathed, the sound of my name on his lips so soft, so raw, it nearly broke me. Everything inside me screamed to pull away, to push him back, to stop this madness before we both fell off the edge. But my body, it betrayed me. Every inch of me wanted this, wanted him. Before I could stop myself, I was closing the distance between us. His lips crashed into mine, urgent and hungry, as though the weight of everything between us, the guilt, the fear, the unspoken truth, had driven us to this breaking point. The kiss was everything I hadn't allowed myself to feel. It was a release, a moment of vulnerability, a confession without words. Our bodies moved together, finding a rhythm we both craved but had been too afraid to acknowledge. I wanted to stop. I told myself I would stop, but I couldn't. And then after we both stood there, panting, trembling, our hearts in chaos. The room felt smaller. Everything felt too close. I could feel the weight of what we'd just done hanging in the air, pressing on my chest. I pulled away first, too afraid to look at him. Too afraid to face the consequences of what had just happened. God, I whispered, more to myself than to him. What have we done? Ethan's voice was strained, and when he spoke, his words were full of regret, but there was something else too, something raw and real. I can't pretend anymore, Hannah. I can't keep doing this. Pretending this isn't what it is. I'm falling in love with you. My heart twisted in my chest, because I knew. I felt it too. But saying it out loud, hearing it spoken aloud, felt like a knife to my gut. I know, I said softly, my voice barely above a whisper. His hands gripped my arms, and I felt the weight of his confession settle in my bones. I can't be with her knowing this, knowing how I feel about you. His words were desperate, but there was something resolute in them too. He wasn't asking for permission anymore. He was stating a fact. I don't know what to do, I said, my voice breaking as the floodgates opened. The guilt, the desire, the shame, they all crashed into me at once, drowning me in their weight. He looked at me, eyes dark and full of pain. I can't be the man I was anymore. Not after this. The truth hit me harder than I expected. This wasn't just about us anymore. It was about everything we'd both been running from. The life he was about to marry into, the daughter I was supposed to protect. And now there was no turning back. I couldn't look at him. I couldn't look at myself. What had we done? The room felt suffocating, the air too thick, and all I wanted was to leave, to escape the mess we'd made. But I couldn't, because there was something between us now, something that couldn't be undone. I loved him. I had loved him for so long, even if I didn't want to admit it to myself. And it scared the hell out of me. We can't keep doing this, I said, the words raw and broken. You're about to marry my daughter. You're hers. You're not mine. He looked at me, his gaze so full of longing and regret it nearly shattered me. I can't just walk away from you, Hannah. Not now. Not after this. The truth hung between us like an invisible thread, fragile and frayed, ready to snap at any moment. We couldn't unfeel what had happened. We couldn't undo this. And in that moment, I knew there was no going back. We had crossed a line that was never meant to be crossed. We had betrayed the very people we were supposed to protect. The weight of our choices pressed down on us both, suffocating us in its enormity. Feel the weight of their choices? Like this video if you're moved by their heartbreaking decision, and if you're invested in what happens next. Because, believe me, this isn't the end of their story. Not by a long shot. The days after that night were nothing but a blur of silence and unspoken words. I tried to push him away. But it felt like trying to keep the tide from coming in. No matter how many walls I built, no matter how many times I told myself it was over, he was still there. In every corner of my mind. In every space between us. The pull between us was too strong. The way he looked at me. The way he spoke to me, like I mattered in a way I never thought I could again. It was impossible to forget. Impossible to unfeel what had already happened. The guilt, though, that was something I could feel, all right. Every time I saw him, every time I thought about him, it was like a dagger twisting in my chest. I wanted to scream at him to leave me alone, to make it stop. But I couldn't. I couldn't say the words because I knew they weren't true. I didn't want him to leave. He couldn't leave. But he had to. And I had to let him. I tried, really tried to distance myself. I told myself over and over that this, whatever this was, could never happen again. He was about to marry my daughter, Lily, my sweet, beautiful, trusting daughter who had no idea what was happening beneath the surface. The betrayal I was carrying in my chest threatened to crush me. I couldn't do this to her. I couldn't let this thing between us destroy everything. But how could I let go of someone who had awakened parts of me I thought were long dead? Every time I saw Ethan, every time we spoke, that quiet, undeniable connection was there, hovering just beneath the surface, making it impossible to ignore. He would come by, always with a quiet apology in his eyes, always with a plea I couldn't refuse. We talked, and in each conversation, the truth got harder to deny. We loved each other, but we couldn't have each other. Not like this. The last time we saw each other, it was like we both knew this was it. The final conversation before everything fell apart completely. He came to my house. Alone. The space between us was heavier than ever before. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice shaking just enough that I could feel the weight of it. "I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to undo it. Neither did I. But as much as it tore me apart, I knew one thing with crystal clarity. He was about to marry Lily, and I couldn't be the reason that marriage fell apart. "I'm sorry too," I whispered, my voice barely there. "But we can't do this. Not anymore." Ethan closed his eyes, as if the words were cutting him deeper than he could bear. He reached for me then, as if trying to find some solace in the touch of my skin. I let him, for just a moment. One last time. "I can't marry her," he said, his voice low, strained with emotion. "Not when I feel this way about you." And that's when the full weight of it hit me. We had crossed a line that was never meant to be crossed. There was no turning back from this, not without destroying everything. "You have to," I said, my heart breaking as I said the words. "You can't let us ruin everything." He looked at me, his eyes full of something I couldn't quite name. "I love you, Hannah," he whispered, as if saying it out loud would make it real. I shook my head. "I love you too. But this can't happen. Not like this." And then we were quiet, the finality of it settling in around us like a fog. Neither of us knew what to say after that. Neither of us had the right words to undo the mess we'd made. In the end, Ethan made the hardest choice of his life. He chose to marry Lily. And me. I was left standing in the wreckage, trying to pick up the pieces of a heart I didn't know how to fix. We said goodbye that day. But it wasn't like the movies. There were no dramatic tears, no final kiss. There was only the quiet, aching truth between us. We couldn't be together. Not when there was too much at stake. But that didn't stop the love from lingering. Would you have walked away from someone you love for the sake of family? Share this video with someone who needs to see how love and sacrifice collide. Because, in the end, the hardest part isn't falling in love. It's knowing when to let go. The day of Lily's wedding was everything I feared it would be. I stood in front of the mirror, my hands trembling as I zipped up her dress, smoothing the fabric with fingers that felt numb. It was the first time I'd seen her in the gown she'd chosen. Simple, elegant, the kind of dress you see in a dream. She looked radiant, glowing with a happiness I didn't feel. The weight of it settled in my chest, a heavy, suffocating kind of grief. She was about to marry Ethan. My heart twisted as I remembered how, just months ago, I had been the one hoping for a future with him. Now I was here, helping her prepare for the life she was going to share with him. "Mom, thank you for being here," Lily said, turning to me with bright eyes, her voice full of that innocent excitement only a bride can feel. "I'm so lucky to have you." I smiled, though it felt hollow. "Of course, sweetheart." I managed my voice tight. "It's a beautiful day." It was. The ceremony was beautiful. The flowers were perfect, the guests were all smiles, and the music was just right. But through it all, there was this crushing weight on my chest. Every time I looked at Ethan, standing at the altar, I felt something break inside me. The way he looked at Lily, so in love, so devoted, cut through me like a knife. I tried not to look at him. I tried to pretend I was just like everyone else, proud of my daughter, happy for her. But every time my eyes met his, the past, our past, screamed to me, reminding me of everything I had lost. Everything I couldn't have. When Lily walked down the aisle, I could hardly breathe. She was perfect, radiant in her gown, smiling with that pure joy only a bride can have. But all I could see was Ethan. His eyes were on her, and for the first time since all of this began, I saw him as he truly was, a man who had made his choice. a man who would never be mine. It wasn't the way I thought it would feel standing there, watching them exchange vows. It wasn't the closure I imagined. I thought it would bring peace, a sense of finality. Instead, it was just more pain. A pain I couldn't escape. I smiled through it, though. I had to. I was her mother. This was her moment. And no matter how much it hurt, I wasn't going to ruin it for her. But inside, everything felt like it was breaking apart. When the ceremony ended, and they kissed, sealing their vows in front of everyone, I felt like a part of me died. I was losing him, the love I'd never truly had. And yet, all I could do was stand there and pretend like everything was fine. The reception came next, and I moved through it like I was walking underwater. Everything was muffled, distant. The sound of glasses clinking, the chatter of the guests, it all felt so far away. I watched them dance, watched Lily and Ethan so in love, so happy, and I stood at the edge of it all, invisible. I wanted to leave. I wanted to escape the suffocating truth of it all. But I couldn't. I couldn't tear myself away from the life I had once hoped for, even though it was now a memory. I couldn't stop watching them, couldn't stop feeling the weight of my choices. My love for Ethan had never truly gone away, but I knew. It was something I couldn't pursue. Not now. Not ever. That night, as the wedding came to a close, I helped Lily pack up her things. I watched her go, her face full of joy, full of dreams. And then I was alone. I had to face it. This was the end of something beautiful, something I had let myself believe in, even when I knew it was a dream I couldn't live. Ethan had chosen his life with her, and I had to find a way to let go. I couldn't keep holding on to a love that was never meant to be. Moving on wasn't easy. In fact, it was a brutal, painful process. The kind of change that leaves scars, that never quite heals. But as the days passed, I started to accept it. The love I had felt for Ethan wasn't something to chase anymore. It was something to honor, a feeling that had shaped me, that had taught me something about myself I didn't understand before. Some loves are meant to be felt, not pursued. I realized that as I sat in my empty house, staring at the space where he had once stood. I could still feel him in the air, in the walls, in the memories we had created. But it was time to move on. It was time to take what I had learned from him, and from us, and let it go, because there was no place for that love in my life anymore. If this story resonated with you, and you're ready for more heart-wrenching stories, subscribe to the channel. I've got more tales of love, loss, and the choices we make that I know you'll want to follow. Because sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go. It's learning to live with the love you never got to keep. It's strange, isn't it? How we live our lives chasing dreams, holding on to people, ideas, and memories we think we can't live without. I used to think love was something you could possess, something you could hold in your hands and keep forever. I thought that love was about finding that one person who would stay, who would never leave, who would be yours completely. But now I know better. It's been months since Lily's wedding. Months since I stood there, watching her marry the man I had once hoped would be mine. And in those months, I've learned something. I've learned how to let go. I've spent so many days thinking about Ethan, about us, the life we could have had, the future that never was. But in the quiet moments, when the house is still, when my mind isn't racing with regret or longing, I can finally see it. The clarity I was so desperate for is here, finally. The love I had for Ethan, it wasn't a mistake. It was real. But it wasn't meant to be mine. It wasn't meant to last. And that's okay. It took me so long to understand that. To understand that some loves are meant to shape us, to teach us, but not to hold us. Not to trap us in what could have been. That love, the one I felt so deeply, so fully for Ethan, was never meant to be my forever. It was meant to be a lesson. A hard one, yes. A painful one. But a lesson nonetheless. I still think about him sometimes. It's impossible not to. The way he looked at me, the way he made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in years. It's a memory that stays with me. It always will. But the bitterness is gone. The regret, fading. Now I carry the memory of Ethan and our impossible love like a weight I've learned to bear. Not with shame, not with regret, but with a sense of peace. The garden. I look out at it now, standing in the backyard that Ethan helped me restore, and I feel something I didn't think was possible: gratitude. The roses are blooming, the fountain is running again, and the entire garden is alive. It's flourishing, thriving, just like I am, in my own way. That garden is a symbol for me, a reminder that sometimes we plant seeds in the most unlikely of places, and though we might not see the flowers right away, with time they'll bloom. And those flowers, they'll be beautiful, even if they're not the ones we thought we were going to get. Life isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it's about letting go of the things that weigh us down, that hold us back, and making space for the things that are meant to be, for the people who are meant to walk beside us, not just the ones who leave. And I've learned that letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean erasing the past. It means accepting it, making peace with it, and moving forward, even when the road feels uncertain. I can't change the past. I can't go back and rewrite the story, but I can choose to live the next chapter differently. And that's what I'm doing. If you've been moved by this journey, comment below and let me know what you would do in Hannah's position. Because love, loss, and letting go, these are the stories we all carry, in one way or another. Join me for more of these life-changing stories.